Hello everyone! For today's video, I'm bringing you an exciting list of roguelike or roguelite shooter games. From FPS to top-down action and even side-scrolling shooters, this list has something for everyone. Well, let's get into the list. In Cruel, you move fast, shoot fast, and think fast. The game throws you into dangerous hallways filled with cultists, fire, and monsters, and every level becomes a race against time because the building literally starts burning behind you. One of the weirdest and coolest features is soda. Instead of just healing yourself, you can drink soda or even feed it to your dog, and when you do that, you get roguelike upgrades. For example, one upgrade lets you gain extra ammo when you deflect bullets with a melee weapon. Wait, you can deflect bullets? Yes. You can swing your axe, block bullets, and then shoot enemies right after. It feels insanely cool. Voidbreaker is a fast and stylish sci-fi roguelike FPS. You are trapped inside an AI program and forced to fight again and again in endless runs filled with robotic enemies and strange cyber creatures. Movement in Voidbreaker feels smooth, fast, and fun. Even just running and jumping feels good. The guns are loud and powerful, especially the assault rifle, which turns into a bullet-spewing machine of chaos. You can destroy buildings and drop them on enemies. And you can pick up objects with a gravity gun style power and throw them back at enemies. As you unlock upgrades like ice bullets, fire attacks, electric shots, and super grenades, the game becomes pure chaos. OTXO is a top-down twin-stick shooter about a man who wakes up on a beach outside a strange hotel. Inside this hotel is someone you love. They're trapped inside, and you must rescue them. To do that, you fight your way through a dangerous mansion filled with armed enemies. Many people compare OTXO to Hotline Miami, and honestly, that makes sense. Both games share the same DNA with top-down shooting, fast and brutal combat, and a dark, unsettling atmosphere. But even with all these similarities, OTXO still stands on its own. The game's main mechanic is called focus. When you use it, time slows down. You can dodge bullets and take down enemies like a top-down John Wick. BPM, Bullets Per Minute, is a roguelite shooter where everything you do must follow the beat of the music. Shoot on the beat, reload on the beat, jump and dodge on the beat. Miss the rhythm, and you might die. There's a beat indicator on your crosshair, turning the game into a rhythm shooter. Enemies rush at you, jump at you, spit poison, and surround you. There's almost no cover, so the only way to survive is to keep moving, circling enemies and dodging bullets like a maniac. The music is amazing and powerful, but after many deaths, it can become repetitive. But despite that, BPM is an incredible and exciting roguelike shooter to play. Void Bastards is a comic book-styled shooter set on abandoned spaceships after a disaster. You play as a prisoner sent out by a creepy corporate AI voice to collect random items needed to repair a giant spaceship. Your job is to explore nearby vessels, collect resources, and use what you find to craft new weapons and tools. The game switches between two modes. Outside the ships, you manage fuel and food to survive in space. Inside the ships, it becomes a fast first-person shooter. Before boarding, you can scan each ship to see what enemies are inside and what special effects it has, like broken security systems or dark hallways with no lights. These little changes keep every ship feeling different and dangerous. At first glance, Synthetic Legion Rising looks like just another roguelike shooter, but once you start playing, you quickly realize this game feels different. This is a tactical robo-shooter where every gun feels powerful, loud, and dangerous. But your weapons don't just shoot, they kick, overheat, and even jam if you're not careful. You must manually reload your guns, manage your ammo, and stay calm while missiles and robots swarm around you. Gun management is a big part of the game. You carry up to 4 weapons, but ammo is limited for each one. This means you can't just spray bullets everywhere. You need to slow down, aim carefully, and go for headshots. ROBOBEAT is another roguelite FPS with rhythm combat. The game is a non-stop rush of running, jumping, and blasting enemies while music pumps in your ears. If you shoot enemies on the beat of the music, you deal extra damage and build up combos. The better your timing, the stronger you become. And unlike other rhythm shooters, ROBOBEAT lets you change the music while you play. You can even upload your own music into the game. How cool is that? ROBOBEAT includes a simple audio editor that lets you set the beat for your favorite songs or let the game detect the rhythm automatically. This means you can fight enemies while listening to your own playlist. Voidigo is one of the best top-down roguelite shooters since Nuclear Throne. Imagine Nuclear Throne, but stranger, brighter, and more energetic. Every character and enemy feels animated with crazy charm. But don't get too comfortable. The enemies are deadly, and one mistake can end your run in seconds. What makes Voidigo special is how boss fights work. The bosses don't wait for you at the end of a level. They appear in the middle of the stage and chase you while you're still exploring. You can hurt them, but you can't defeat them until you destroy special beacons scattered around the map. This turns you from the hunted into the hunter, creating a fun and intense rhythm of gameplay. Returnal is exactly what you expect from a AAA roguelike, and it is intense from start to finish. What really makes the game stand out is how fast and smooth it feels to play. Movement, dodging, and shooting all flow perfectly together. You are constantly running, dashing, and jumping while alien enemies flood the screen with glowing projectiles from every direction. It feels like a mix of bullet hell action and sci-fi horror, and it looks incredible in motion. Nova Drift is a space shooter roguelite inspired by the classic game Asteroids. In fact, every run begins with you shooting big floating rocks, just like the old arcade days. Your goal is simple: shoot enemies, collect experience points, and don't get hit. As you survive longer, you level up and upgrade your ship, and as you grow stronger, the enemies also become faster and more dangerous. One thing that may divide players is the movement control. Your ship moves using momentum, meaning you push forward and then steer instead of stopping instantly. At first, this feels strange and old school, and some players may not like it, but if you stick with it, the controls will start to feel natural. Neon Abyss is a colorful side-scrolling roguelite shooter where chaos, loot, and bright neon lights fill the screen. The controls are simple. You move, jump, and automatically shoot in the direction you aim. You can throw bombs and use special abilities too. Enemies have clear attack patterns, and learning how to dodge them is the key to surviving. It feels great when you defeat a boss without getting hit even once. The biggest highlight of Neon Abyss is the massive amount of weapons and items. Guns can shoot lasers, boomerangs, fish bones, and all kinds of weird projectiles. Every item stacks, so your character can become insanely powerful over time. Witchfire is a single-player roguelike extraction shooter that feels like a gothic fantasy movie mixed with fast shooting and dark magic. You play as an immortal warrior called a Prayer, sent by the Vatican to hunt and kill these witches. The story is mysterious and simple, but the atmosphere is strong. What really makes Witchfire special is the combat. Shooting feels fast and heavy. You run, dodge, and chain kills while using spells to survive. Some spells help you escape danger, others destroy enemies in powerful ways. It feels smooth and exciting, like a mix of gunplay and wizard magic. In the end, Witchfire is a dark, stylish mix of guns and magic. Deadzone Rogue is a serious sci-fi roguelite shooter with a dark and creepy atmosphere. The game feels a bit like Dead Space because of its setting, but the gameplay is more action-focused. Think less survival horror and more fast shooting like Killing Floor mixed with roguelite progress like Gunfire, Reborn, and Roboquest. On top of that, there are many weapons and armor pieces, and you can upgrade them with elemental powers like fire and electricity. These powers can link with each other so your build becomes stronger and more interesting over time. Crab Champions is a fast-paced roguelike shooting game where you play as a crab with a gun. The gameplay feels a lot like Risk of Rain 2. You need to aim carefully, move constantly, and shoot enemies while dodging attacks. Each level only lasts about 2 to 3 minutes, so the action never slows down. The shooting feels powerful, the movement is smooth, and the crab can drift and glide across the map. Honestly, it feels a bit like a racing game mixed with a shooter. And most importantly, playing as a gun-wielding crab is ridiculous, but also very fun. As one Steam reviewer perfectly said, I would give this game a crab out of 10. At first glance, Roboquest looks like just another colorful roguelite shooter with crazy visuals. But once you dive in, you find a fast, polished, and very fun action game. And make no mistake, Roboquest is not easy. Even on normal difficulty, enemies come from every direction. If you stand still for too long, you're done. The game is all about moving fast, jumping around, and blasting enemies non-stop. The movement feels smooth and fast as you slide through canyons, gardens, and futuristic cities. The frame rate stays solid even when the screen is full of explosions and lasers. Nuclear Throne is pure chaos. It's a fast, explosive shooter set in a post-apocalyptic world, mixing bullet hell action with roguelike strategy. You'll use all kinds of crazy weapons, from simple pistols to powerful plasma cannons. The game is perfect for players who love fast shooting, but it also rewards careful and smart play. The real strategy comes from the mutation system. Enemies drop radiation, which works like experience points. When you level up, you choose one mutation out of 4 options. Building your character with these mutations feels great, but you don't always get the skills you want, so you must adapt and change your playstyle every run. Gunfire Reborn is one of the best FPS roguelite shooters you can play right now. The game doesn't have fancy graphics or a deep story, but that's not the point. What really matters is how good the shooting feels and how replayable the game is. And this is where Gunfire Reborn shines. The game has a huge variety of weapons, and each one feels different. This is rare for shooters where many guns feel almost the same. Each characters also change how you play. With different characters, weapons, scrolls, and upgrades, every run can feel totally unique. You can build your character in many different ways, and no 2 runs feel the same. Deep Rock Galactic blends exciting FPS action and fun exploration to create one of the best co-op experiences in gaming. Your job is simple. Go deep underground, mine valuable resources, and try not to die. You dig through fully destructible caves to find resources and objectives. But the alien creatures won't let you mine in peace. They attack randomly, and sometimes mission control will warn you that a huge swarm is coming. When that happens, you better get ready to fight. Most missions end with a tense escape. After finishing your objective, you must race back to the extraction point before time runs out. You're often far from where you started, and enemies will swarm you from all directions. Enter the Gungeon is one of those games that's hard to put down. If you love roguelike shooters with tough bosses, fun upgrades, and rising difficulty, this game delivers all of that. Every character starts with a basic weapon, but by the time you clear the first floor, you're guaranteed to find a new gun, shotguns, rocket launchers, lasers, slingshots. There are tons of weapons to discover and unlock. A single new gun can completely change your strategy and turn weak items into powerful combos. And the deeper you go into the Gungeon, the crazier things get. By the time you reach the later floors, you can feel like a walking weapon of mass destruction, or completely overwhelmed if you're not prepared. Let me tell you, Risk of Rain 2 is one of the best game there is, even after all these years. It's third-person shooter with tight controls, stylish visuals, and a gameplay loop that keeps pulling you back in. You can play solo or with up to 4 friends online, and trust me, suffering together makes it even more fun. This game is fast, enemies never stop coming, and the longer you stay alive, the harder the game becomes. There's always pressure. If you die, the run ends, but you keep the characters and items you've unlocked for future runs. Each character's skills are also easy to understand, so even new players can jump into this game without feeling lost. That's all for today's list. Subscribe and like for more exciting new roguelike and roguelite games. That's it, and see you next time.